Happy Monday. Welcome to Draglist Live, where we get the bench race with the world's top drag racers. My name is Bill Pratt. It's great to be with you tonight. I am so excited. My good friends, John Cerchio and Patty Stiso, are here tonight to talk about the fun of racing the WarPath Buick Regal funny car all up and down the East Coast. Before we bring John and Patty in, let's go to John Bockelman, see how he's doing and find out how the chat's going to work. John, what's going on?
Oh, we're doing great here, BP, and howdy from Houston, everybody. Please join us on the live chat. The chat board is on the right side of your YouTube window. Tell us who you are and where you're from. I'll take notes and I'll pass your questions and comments along to BP, John, and Patty.
Awesome. Thank you, John. And without further ado, well, first of all, click the like and click the share. Let your friends know we have John and Patty with us live. But to prove it, let me bring them in right now. John and Patty, welcome to the show.
Good evening, Bill. Good evening, John.
Hi, guys.
How are you doing? It's so great to see you tonight. First thing I want to say is just how much fun it's been hanging out with you in the pits at Budds Creek and at Keystone the last couple times. I know you've raced some other places, but those are the places I got to hang out with you. And I just had to say that the WarPath pit is the party central for nostalgia drag racing on the East Coast. Patty's always cooking up a bunch of stuff and feeding about half the pits, and we sit there and chat and just have a great time. So tell us about the last couple times that you've been out, and kind of do you do that everywhere?
You know, it's almost come to be expected. And I goof around. I say people come over to the pits not to ask me how I'm doing or what's going on with the car. They want to know what Patty's cooking. Or better yet, what kind of recipe drink did she bring with us?
Right. Well, I know I was enjoying some of that, your homemade limoncello. How do you say it exactly?
Limoncello.
Yeah, limoncello.
That's the stuff, man. Oh my goodness. There we go. we're enjoying it in sort of in my memory. John, how are you? Let me check in with John real quick. We jumped right in tonight. I want to make sure we're up and live. Is anybody chatting with us on the chat yet, John?
Not yet, BP. I'm still waiting for it to come up on the screen.
Okay, well that scares me a little bit. So let me make sure that we are broadcasting. No, yeah, we are. We're rocking and rolling, so we're out there.
We're there.
Yeah, so good. So yeah, we're still trying to work the bugs out of this bad boy, and it's kind of like sometimes we get the spark plug wires crossed, and as we're coming up to the lanes. So where are some of the places you've been this year? I mean, obviously we saw you at Keystone. We just saw you at Budds Creek where you got a big win. We can talk about that tonight for sure.
Yeah, well, this year we didn't race as much as we did last year. Usually we have in the past, we've done like 10 events, and we go to Ohio and Pittsburgh, Island Dragway. We were going to Atco. I don't even remember. I mean, we've gone to so many places. We've been to Cecil this year, Rising Sun, Maryland, and like you said, we've been to Budds Creek.
I'm going to be at Island.
We'll be at Island on the 12th. It's a Saturday, 12th of October, and I think on the weekend of my birthday, it's the 28th. Yeah. We're going to be in Pittsburgh again, Keystone.
Okay.
Way. We're going back out there, and those are the events I always look
a nostalgia event, or is he bringing in all the funny cars again? I think it's just
I think it's 8 cars or something booked in show.
I think 8, yeah.
Something like that. Yeah, I think you're referring to the Funny Car Nationals at the same track.
Yeah.
That was Denny's event. But Greg Miller took it over, the track owner.
Right.
Trying to keep the event going with a lot of cars. I don't remember what was there. Do you remember what was there this year?
20-ish. We didn't, I don't think we,
Yeah. 19
it was
20, I think, right?
Yeah, some of them fell off at the last minute. I don't remember if they broke or what happened, but I remember going to that event. There was 30, maybe more, a lot of cars.
It's been huge in the past, but this is awesome. I mean, it was amazing. So Well, Patty, and one thing people think that, Patty's not just out there cooking and giving people stuff to drink and putting out the lawn chairs, which is a huge part of the fun. But I'm also out there like helping to set up the car, backing up the car, and all that good stuff. You're a big part of putting this thing together. Tell us a little bit about your day at the races each time you set up.
It's hard work. It's definitely something I never even knew this sport existed 21 years ago. Swear to God, never knew. I said, because I drag race. Oh, okay. Totally oblivious to what this all means. But I was more active, like backing up the car and all that, until I had a little accident. So now I'm happy starting the car. I'm good at that. So I like to stay consistent, getting him ready, towing the car back and forth. And this is good. I got good people, thankfully, that I will thank later when they're all on, that are always jumping in to help. It's an amazing group of people.
They are, for sure.
Really, really, really good people. And we never have a problem because there's always somebody has your back.
Got it. Yeah, we were talking about you this weekend, my sisters and I was up in Ohio, and one of my sisters had 2 knee replacements and another one just had 1 done. And we were all talking about, now we're all, in our 60-ish, and we're all talking about the thing we worry about the most is falling these days, right? And I said, I have a friend who was on a drag strip, but it was all sticky, and certainly that, I know you gave you a little bit of a tumble a couple of years ago, but you're doing pretty good now.
Yeah. When I took that fall, that was the arm. I broke my arm, dislocated the elbow. It was horrible. The knee I hurt years ago in Englishtown, lifting the body, thinking I was a little bit stronger than I was under a wheel well, twisted it and it popped. But as you know, I just had my knee replacement and I love my new knee.
So
love it.
So the joke here is I owe her an arm and a leg because of the race car.
When you walk around, do you hear that Bionic Man music playing in the background?
Yeah.
I love that show.
Yeah, it was awesome. Let's do a real quick check-in with John. John, do we have anybody visiting with us yet? I may have. Gotcha.
Okay, unmuted. Yes, we have a lot of people here tonight. Ted Papacina says, hi, John and Patty, good friends. And he followed that up with Funny Car Chaos Champs.
Yeah.
Gail Mac Hall says, hi, John and Sweet Pea. Rocky Perone says, John and Patty are the best. And he added later, WarPath is the best looking funny car in the country. And I couldn't agree more.
That's very sweet.
He also said limoncellos for everyone. Jacob Simone says, I still don't understand how he keeps the WarPath so clean.
I don't either.
Elbow grease, I think.
Joe Perone also says that the family says hello.
Joe's my hero.
Yeah, Rocky is cool and Joe is great. That is a great drag racing family for sure.
Absolutely.
Mike Shenandoah says, greetings from Mike and Gail.
Hey, Mike.
Rich Panicaro in New Jersey says, hey, gang. And Jack Red is here, and he says, hello, everyone. And let's see. There were some comments that came in while I was talking. NY32986 is the handle, and he says, hi, all just here for a little bit after doing some Draglist work before.
Howdy, buddy. That's our buddy Rob McCabe, who has jumped into doing the drag racing lists. Thank goodness.
Well, he agrees with Rocky Perone, and so do I. And Mark Malinsky from New Jersey is with us tonight. And Joe Perone says, y'all are his heroes. Rocky says, Donna says hi.
Hey, Donna.
That's my girl.
Donna and Patty, when they get together, I say that's like Ethel and Lucy.
Yeah.
And Joe said, thank you for the kind words, John.
Yeah. He's a natural born driver.
He is, ain't he? Oh,
incredible.
Amazing. Really.
Warren Bader just posted, John, guess what?
We
Tell us,
won
Warren.
the chaos.
Well, we're caught up for the moment.
It was a special kind of chaos, but I won't say that word.
Got it. Awesome. Thank you, John. Johnny B. We got to say JB now for tonight, but appreciate it, everybody. And Joe out there, Mr. 611, Martin US 131, brother. I saw that run, buddy.
Incredible.
Great job. Great job, Rock. So awesome. Well, we got the family here, guys. It's like we're like, it's like sitting back in the pits. Well, let's talk a little bit about the race and history. So first of all, let me ask this question, Patty. How did you guys meet? Let's talk about that, because obviously John's been racing for a lot longer than 21 years ago. But tell us how that happened. Give us the biggest heart story.
I can go all the way back that we grew up in the same little Italian neighborhood in Jersey City, went to the same grammar school, made confirmation together.
Wow.
Never knew each other because I'm a little older.
Had the same friends.
Same friends. In pictures at reunions where I'm taking pictures and he's in it, but we never knew each other.
Wow.
And John came to a wake for one of my in-laws, passed away, and I was already a widow. My husband had died many years prior, and he asks, I was a redhead back then, and he wanted to know who the redhead was.
So we kind of met. It's kind of like a joke. We met at a wake. I was in the trucking business, and one of my drivers, his dad passed away, who happened to be Patty's father-in-law.
Mm-hmm.
I went to the wake and I said, who's the cute little redhead? But I didn't want to be too, overly pushy. So I stopped right there. So a couple of days later, I get a phone call. Lisa, your sister-in-law, Lisa, John, I heard you're interested in my sister-in-law. I said, well, I kind of asked. So she says, well, do you want a number? I said, yeah, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So she was expecting me to call her, but friends of mine from Jersey City, they were racing actually at Budds Creek. And he said, John, you want to go racing? I said, sure. So I went with them, and I never called Patty.
I was like, another one,
Yeah.
Check that one off.
But then eventually I called, and, we had our first date, and it worked.
That's great.
Yeah.
Well, you had the racing in there somehow. Luckily, that's been a good marriage, and between the racing hobby and the love. Pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've created a life that I love.
Yeah.
He's a grandpa. I mean, I have my 2 kids are adults. I have amazing 2 granddaughters and 1 grandson who is the light of our lives.
Right.
And it's just good. It's just all good.
Life is good, but good things happen to good people, and man, love knowing you and love having you on. Let's turn to the nuts and bolts part of this story, though. John, tell us how you kind of get started racing. I know I became aware of you way back. Our dear friend who's passed now, Artie Simaluka, all the way back in the early 90s, or I was announcing at Budds Creek, and I'd go up to Englishtown now and then for this or that. Well, the late 80s actually, but I became aware of you through Art. And I think I was talking to you last time. I know guys you knew like John Marchese and stuff, but I don't think we had a chance to meet back then. But I put your first entry on the Draglist as your 1993 Stormfront Beretta funny car. But you started way before that. Tell us about those early days.
So I started with my first car. I bought that car. I wasn't even 17 years old yet. And it was a Chevelle, 70 Chevelle.
Mm-hmm.
I worked on it, and I had that car a couple of years, and we raced on the street. Not the smartest thing to do, but we did a lot of racing on the street with that car in Jersey City.
Yeah. Springsteen was stinging about it, you know, so you got
Yeah, there was some streets and highways in Jersey City that we would race. And I mean, the hook was in me since I was literally a child. I could show you pictures of me. I was 2 years old. Cars. That's all it ever was. It was never anything but cars and trucks.
Right.
So I mean, that car was totaled actually, and on not racing, it was just a freak accident. The car was totaled. I built another car, took all the guts out of the first Chevelle, the engine, the trans, the rear, put it in another Chevelle, a 69, and I raced that. And then it was a 67 Chevelle. So it was just one after the other, you know. But really, I mean, being a kid playing with Hot Wheels, you know, the usual stories you hear, Hot Wheels and Matchbox. But the actual cars, my brother Rob used to get magazine. Now he's 10 years older than me. So he would get in the mail Hot Rod and Motor Trend. And I couldn't get enough of it. I mean, looking at his magazines, you know, and then he took me to my first drag race, you know, looking at real race cars. I want to say it was around 69 or 70. We went to Englishtown. He took me.
Wow.
And that was it, you know. So really, he's the one that got me started with the drag racing. And then it started then with the Chevelles, and, you know.
Pretty amazing. What was your first actual race car? How did you, I know you've had a couple of I know about altered, certainly some diggers. Tell us about that progression.
Never an altered. I still to this day would love to put a T-body on my funny car, you know, and race it as an altered. That might still happen, but not if Patty has any say in it. But my first real race car, I remember going to Englishtown. They used to have the spring and fall swap meet.
Right.
I go to Englishtown with a couple of friends of mine from high school, and they knew I was looking for a car. I had it with street racing, and I wanted to race a real race car. So a friend comes up, and he's walking around, and we're walking, but we kind of separated, and he finds me, and he says, "Hey, there's a dragster over there. And the guy wants $4,500 for it. It's complete, front engine dragster, turnkey with an open trailer, $4,500.
Wow.
So my eyes lit up, and we go over, and the guy's name was Bill Kraus. I don't know if that name sounds familiar, but his son races an altered. Actually, unfortunately, they crashed that car at Budds Creek.
Oh, no.
But that family still races, and Bill is probably in his 80s, and he still races a blown dragster.
Wow.
But I bought that car from him, and we took it home, and it needed some work, but we ran that car. That was the Imperial Wizard, that car was. 208-inch Don Tuttle car.
Nice.
It was beautiful. It was just a nice car. And I fixed it up. It had a problem with the rear and this and that, but we got it running pretty good. We ran that car in Super Pro. That was before even Supercom.
Right.
And it was okay. I mean, it had a clutch turbo in it. You know, you swap your feet and it would go second and third. So I ran that for 2 or 3 years. But everybody was going to rear engine cars. Now we're talking 81. The nostalgia things, that wasn't existing.
Yeah, right.
Front engine dragsters were just junk, you know. Nobody wanted them. So let's see, I'm trying to think. Around 82, I got the new rear engine car, the S&W car, and that was a good car. The problem with it was it always went straight. It was so predictable. It was fast.
Yeah.
It just wasn't fun to drive. There was no more wheelies.
Right.
And getting sideways in the burnouts and, you know, all the cool things.
Yeah.
So I got tired of that after about 2 or 3 years, and that car got sold. That was the Starship Trooper. That was
you always have cool names, right?
Yeah. Well, that was a Yes song. If you like the group Yes,
I do, and I do. I like that song, and I like that group. I saw them in '72 when they came through.
Yep.
Or maybe '75, whenever it was, but they were great.
Yeah. And then there was a period of time where I was involved with racing, but I sold the car and I bought a house. You know, I just concentrated on building a trucking business.
Right.
I stayed involved with racing, but not with my own car or helping others. There were so many guys in Jersey City that raced. It was incredible. The names, probably you heard Frankie Restivo,
Sure.
Little John Barcelona, the Haddad brothers, Ron Cranston, Stephen and Joe Gregory and Steve Korek, G&K Customs. So many cars. So I was involved with all of these. The Haddad brothers, Muni Haddad. I don't know if you remember those guys. Super F automatic Camaro. Yeah. Those guys were holding the mail way before everybody else.
Right.
So I started hanging around with them. And that's where my time went, you know, in that little off period before I owned another car. But yeah.
Awesome. Well, that's a great, and we'll come back and start talking about funny cars. John, well, who's out there ready to chat or share some thoughts?
We've had 3 new comments here in the last few minutes. Craig Takamori says, I'm here, John, Patty, Bill, and JB.
Hey, guy.
He says, thought I could write on my phone, but I switched to my laptop. It's good to see you all.
Howdy.
Jesse Lejeune says he's enjoying the chat so far. He says, keep it going.
Jesse.
Wow.
And Rob came in and said, I know you guys are getting ready for Island next month for the Funny Car Throwdown.
Yep. Yeah, we're ready.
Awesome.
Where's Island Dragway?
That's up northwest New Jersey, Hackettstown, New Jersey.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a great track, and it's family owned. And Melissa and her husband,
Melissa and Carl, they do a good job up there. We love that track.
Yep, they're such great people. They're young, young couple, young kids, and it's been in her family forever. And she's just terrific.
She does the right thing by the races.
Absolutely.
Takes good care of us. And like I said, the track is, I mean, for a small, old school track, we run one of our best numbers with the WarPath car on that track.
Wow. What were your best? So, we'll get forward on that, but because I know you've been in the 680s. I know we don't try to push it that hard these days, but have you run some 680s? What that I know of? What's the quickest you've been in the car? Is it?
The quickest was 671 at 205.
Got it.
But I mean, this car, the WarPath car, Joe Alexander was helping us. I don't know if you remember Joe Alexander. The famous
pleasure seekers.
Yeah, John Samolick and Joe. Well, Joe was helping us for a number of years, and Joe looked at the car. We were having a problem. I couldn't get the car to run it. It would run 7.0, 7.02, 7.05. And I was struggling. I'm not going to deny it. I was struggling, and we were hurting it, burning up pistons and stuff. Mm-hmm. That's where Patty learned how to put pistons and rods.
Give me a mallet.
So don't let her kid you about just cooking and lining me up and getting me strapped in. She could put a motor together too.
Awesome.
But anyway, Joe came over and he says, John, you got all the right stuff. You're just not turning the screws right. So he come over, and about 2 weeks later, we ran. Now this is going back around 2009.
Yeah.
And he says, I was all strapped in. We were getting ready to run at Englishtown at the Funny Car Reunion.
Okay.
And Joe worked his magic, and I'm all strapped in, and he sticks his head in and he says, are you ready? Because this thing's going to run. And I said to myself, yeah. I'm ready, I guess, as ready as I'll ever be. And I tell you what, it left harder than I ever felt a car leave.
Wow.
And it was just on a pass. And I think we were racing Mazzarella, and Chris got out on me. And I don't think I hit high gear yet. And I blew past him like a freight train.
Wow.
And we got down the top end, and I make the turn, and he's out of his car, and he comes over. Now I wore the mask and the goggles and all, and I'm in the car and I'm taking all my stuff off. And he says, "I think you just ran a 6." And I said, "Yeah, well, it felt pretty quick, but I didn't know, you know." And then Patty comes down with the dually and all the guys that were helping me. And they're ringing the horn and flashing the lights, and she's screaming out the door. It ran 688 at 204 and change. So we blew right past the 690s, you know, right past. I was happy if it ran a 699, but it blew right past it. And then we got it back, and I checked everything, and everything just looked beautiful. I mean, the bearings looked perfect, and the plugs, and Joe gave us the tune-up.
Right. Unbelievable. Yeah. And you got, you know, so I'm looking at 680s at Richmond, and 2018 690s at Cecil, and 19. And of course, you know, the 671. I'll have to
Well, it run several 671s. I got many 671s.
Wow.
At Richmond, we were down there at Dinwiddie. I think it ran like, I don't know, 3 or 4 680s in a row at over 200.
Right.
You know, the air was good. Yeah, it was real good. We were ready for it, you know. Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, before the Somerset, you had that gorgeous Stormfront Beretta. What made you decide to build that? That was the way to go funny car racing if you want to get your feet wet. It looked beautiful. It ran solid 8s everywhere you go, injected alky, you know, nothing to really blow up. Tell us a little bit about that. Is that the first car you came back with after the dragster when you returned?
Yeah, I bought that car. I don't know if you remember, or I'm sure you do, the Bucksbaum brothers. Do you remember Bruce and Dave
Bruce Bucksbaum, the Gemini guys? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that car was their second alcohol funny car. I knew those guys from the dragster days. And they went funny car racing with, they bought the old Allied trucker, Dick and Charlie Bell. They were racing their car. They sold that car, and then they built a brand new Pro Start car, and it had a Corvette body on it, the Gemini 2, the pretty red and yellow car.
Right.
And I used to race with them. I would go with them. Those were another group of guys that I used to race with when I was not running my own car. And I always told them, if you go to sell this car, I want first dibs. Well, they didn't run that car much. That car probably only had maybe 30 runs on it, maybe.
Wow.
And I was always with them, so I knew it was never crashed, and it was always babied, you know.
Right.
So, and it was set up to run a Chevy. It didn't have a Hemi in it. It had I think it had a Rodak in it. It was a Rodak, yeah. And I said, I want the car. When you go to sell it, I'm in no rush, but I want it when you go to sell it. So a couple of years later, they took the Corvette body off. They bought a Beretta body. And midway through getting the Beretta mounted, they lost interest. They were going to go alcohol dragster racing. So I got the Beretta. I finished it. I got the car painted. Actually, Stephen, G&K Customs, did the paint on that. They did a great job. Stephen did.
Right.
And that car had a big block Chevy, cast iron, steel Chevy heads.
Right.
Steel rods. I think it had like a stock cam in it. It was nothing special. Good port and polish job on the heads. I bought a Hillborn injector set up on it. Kinsler gave me the tune-up, and that car was running, at the time, it was running 820.
Yeah.
It was a fast car for what it was, you know. And we ran that car for 10 years. 10 years. That car. Yep. Good car. Good car.
Yeah. Beautiful, guys. Because my records show the Beretta, the Buick Regal came out in 08. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay.
Yep. We took that car. It actually made its unofficial debut at Englishtown. Walter Fry, he was the manager at Englishtown.
Yeah.
So he called me up, and he apparently must have saw some pictures. Some pictures leaked out from when it was over at Jesse's getting painted. So Walter says, John, I want the car on display under the big tent on the spectator side of it when they had the, I guess it was the Summer Nationals, Super Nationals, whatever they called it.
Yeah.
And I said,
a couple things.
yeah. I said, but Walter, it's not finished. It's not plumbed. It's not wired. He says, I don't care. He says, the motor's in it. I said, yeah. He says, bring it. We want it on display. So we brought it. And I remember I was working. I had the trucking business. Patty actually took care of it. I took the car there at like 6 in the morning and said goodbye. Went to work. She handled the car. Her and George Snizik.
Yeah.
Yeah. George, they babysat the car, and
Frank Bernard.
Yeah, Frank was there.
And who else?
Maybe George Ridenauer. I think George had the
that's when I first met Frank Bernard. Yeah.
Yeah. So we had it on display. Unfortunately, that's the year Scott was killed.
Oh my, yeah.
Scott
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah, 2008. And a funny story that goes with that is we were in the pits, and Jack Beckman comes over because they called off all the racing after Scott, had his accident. Jack Beckman comes over on his little scooter, and he says, I heard about this car from over in the pits on the other side, and I had to come over and look at it. He says, do you mind if I sit in it? I don't think I even sat in it at that point. So what was I going to say to Jack Beckman? No. So he sat in the car and he loved it. We put the body down. I got a ton of pictures, So yeah, that was actually the first time it went to the track.
Well, that's awesome.
And then a week later, we took it. I finished it. We plumbed it. We wired it. We dragged it to Maple Grove.
Oh, right. With come on, help me.
No, we had
who was with us?
We had Lou Scro and Bob Rossetti.
Okay.
The pictures on the door of the trailer. Yeah.
And that's where it made its maiden voyage. It made the first 3 runs there at Maple Grove.
Yep.
Awesome.
Those guys were great. They were a big help. Yeah,
they're awesome. I love them both. They're good, man. This nostalgia funny car deal is going back like 20, 25 years now. It's amazing how long it's gone on. Were they so I'm showing do you have a 572-inch Donovan Chevy in it? Was what you ran? Do you still have that setup in there?
Yeah. Knock wood. It's the original block. It's the original head. We never torched the heads. We never put a rod out.
I love it.
It's the original crank. I think I'm pushing my luck here. Yeah. Maybe I should just be quiet.
That's the way to go funny car. Is that a 3-speed? Is it like a Lenco car, or is it got an automatic?
2-speed glide. Yeah. Kenny Moses does transmissions for us. You remember Ed Moses, the top fuel driver?
I sure do. Yeah.
His son Ken does our transmissions.
Okay.
Right.
That's amazing. Well, you guys are doing funny car racing right. You don't want to, it's not nothing. It's not free, but it's you're not blowing things up and spending unnecessary money.
Well, we call it fat and happy. I'm at the point where I don't really, I enjoy working on the car. Don't get me wrong, but I don't want to be in the garage at night changing pistons and stuff.
Sure.
I want to have fun. I want to drive my car, and I'm good with it. I good with where I'm at with it. And I know it's no longer the fastest car out there. It was for a while.
Mm-hmm.
But everybody has gotten to where we were 10 years ago. More. They've gone faster. You know?
But, you're fast enough to win that trophy right behind you. Tell us about the big event down there at Budds Creek at Funny Car Chaos.
That was so cool.
You know what? That was a little bit of luck. we were in the right place at the right time, but we raced smart, and the car was up there to win every round, and I had a good car under me, and I looked at the way that the ladder was and who we were racing, and a couple of times I thought, man, I'm going to get my ass kicked. But I said, you know what? I'll give it my best. And we had a lot of help at that event. And I can go down a list of the guys that helped us. Warren Bader was there helping us on the line. We had Al and Alfred Karlowicz. Those guys were helping us with the brakes. Not many people know we were having a problem with brakes with the car at that event. So while I was servicing it, they were working on the brakes.
Okay.
So and we had Christian, right? Christian Hubner was with us that weekend, and Andrew Miller. I can't even remember everybody, but just everybody.
Yeah, I mean, Matt came over. Matt
Stambaugh always comes over.
Always comes over, make sure we're okay.
Matt and Jeff, his brother-in-law. Jeff.
They're the best.
They're dear friends. All of these people we just mentioned, they're just incredible. I couldn't race without them, and I cannot forget Mike Hall. You talk about Shenandoah. Yeah, Mike Hall he's
the man. Yep,
he is the man. I want to be Mike Hall when I grow up.
That's what I'm saying.
Mike helped us tremendously on the line. When we're at the track and Mike comes over to help, I know I'm at ease because I know everything on the line is just right.
And that's huge. That's a big deal.
It's real big.
Yeah. I would love to take 1 minute though and give a little shout out to some of my ladies.
Please make it happen, Patty. Let's do it.
Yep, because there's a bunch of women, all of us, they're just fabulous and they're just great. We have a great time. So needless to say, I mean, my girls, Donna Perrone, Patty Gironi, all we do is laugh. It's just really silly. Brianna Hodgson, little Joey's girl. She's a doll.
Brianna's
love her.
A cutie.
Of course, Gail Hall. Love her with my whole heart. And Tori Hall. She is a doll.
Yeah, Tori. Got a chance to meet her. She was great. She's gonna be the next superstar.
Yep, she's a sweetheart. And then I can't forget Glenda and Cindy Karlowicz.
Yeah,
those girls are fabulous. Just like the boys, the guys. They're just. I appreciate their friendships. And we just have a good time. And that makes it so much more fun. Like for us, he's working, killing himself. We might be like chatting and laughing. But it's just a great team. And these ladies they're my joy. So I just wanted to make sure I gave them a shout out tonight.
Well, so Bill, we couldn't race without them. I couldn't because it's just Patty and I going down the road. And when we get to the track, we know what direction to go in to get our help. And they just step up. I mean, even the Sweetman brothers, Danny and Drew Sweetman, this interview couldn't be complete without mentioning those guys. And Henry, Robert Duvall.
I got my Henry selfie when I was at Budds Creek. I'm proud of it. Yeah. It was great.
I have a vintage picture of one of their old funny cars, the Pinto. It used to be funny for them.
Yeah.
So I got this picture. And I just so happened to have it on me. Okay. And I said to Henry, Henry, I want your autograph. So he says, you want my autograph? I said, yeah, Henry, I want you to autograph this vintage picture of your old car. He says, well, I just so happen to have a pen.
That's right.
And he saw that picture and it's hanging down my basement. Yeah. Yeah.
I love it. We have great people at the track. I love our community there. I love our community here as well. Let's check in with John and see what they have to say. John, we took a little time there. You got any? John has to try to keep up with all these notes while we're having fun talking. We'll see how he does.
Yeah, no problem, man. Ted Papacina, we were talking about the Island Dragway earlier, and he posted that Don Garlitz ran the first official 200-mile-per-hour pass there in 1964.
Right.
Wow.
And Rich Panicaro backed that up. He said that's true. And for the Funny Car Chaos weekend, Warren Bader said that's the most fun I ever had. And Joe Perrone said that makes two of us. He said it was a kicktail weekend.
That's right.
And I had a question for y'all about the car. That is absolutely the most beautiful paint job I've ever seen on a funny car, and it's a Buick. But my question is, I guess the two-part question is, what made you choose a Buick body for that car, and how did you get that absolutely masterpiece of a painting job on it?
Okay, so when we had, it's a real long story. I'll make it kind of short. But that body I bought in 1988. This was when I was not even racing. I knew I was going to go funny car racing, and I loved the Buick body. Poldy ran one, and Jim Glenn had the Shady Glenn Buick, and I just loved that body style. So I'm looking in the back of National Drag. So this was before internet or anything like that, and they had those little paragraph ads in the back of the National Dragster. So I'm looking, and it's the end of the season, and Murph McKinney runs an ad, and he's selling like 6 different funny car bodies. He had like 2 Corvettes, an Omni, I don't even remember. And at the bottom was Buick Regal Somerset. And I said, boom, that's it. I want it. So I call him up. We made a deal, and Larry Kugel delivered that body. If you guys remember the name, Larry Kugel delivered that body. He had a trucking company.
Yeah.
Delivered that body, and that body sat in probably 4 different places. And for the longest time, it sat in my friend Paul's shop over in Jackson, hanging from the ceiling for quite a while.
Wow.
And we built the Stormfront car with the intention of eventually putting a blown alcohol motor in it and putting that Buick body on it. But then I had a problem with that car. The driveline exploded, and it damaged the car a lot. I got hurt in that car. I broke my right leg in 3 places.
Oh, man.
So that car went, and I ordered a brand new Pro Stock car from Kurt Fleischman. So that's when we mounted that Buick body. So a lot of people think that car belonged to someone else. Maybe an old Poldy car, or like I said, Shady Glen or Desert Rat. Nope, it was always mine.
I love it. You may have listed every Buick Somerset Regal ever ran. I'd have to look and see.
No, there was more. Paula Martin had one. She bought it.
Paula had one. Right.
Hers was Tommy Johnson.
Yeah. Okay. Tommy Johnson had one. I saw that car.
So there was 5 of them, maybe 6. Casey Spurlock had one. Yeah. But the paint, that's another kind of, I knew what I wanted, and I had it in my head, and I knew exactly how it was going to be laid out, but I'm not an artist. So Larry Williams offered.
Yeah, he's terrific.
I told him what I wanted, and Larry Williams just ran with it. And I wanted the Indian character and this and that. And he gave me like 3 different renditions of what it was going to look like, and I picked what I wanted. And the final one is what you see on the car. So now I have the drawings, and it's exactly the way I described it. But where was I going to get it painted? So my first thought was to go to Gene K, but they weren't in business anymore. So somebody suggested go to Circus. Well, the new Circus was Jesse Lejeune, and he was teamed up with Bob Gertis. And that was only like 10 minutes away from my house. They were in Farmingdale. So I walk in, and I knew Gertis from being at the track, but I never met Jesse. So I introduced myself, and I showed him what I had, and they were going to do the job. And they gave me a good price. So like, I don't know, 3 weeks, maybe a month into the job, Gertis calls, and he says, John, he says, his mom got sick, and he says, I'm going back home to be with my mom. Do you mind if Jesse paints the car? And I said, no, not at all. Jesse's as good, if not better, than anybody I know that can paint. You know, I've seen his work. He's incredible. He's the best. So Jesse actually did the car.
Okay.
But the catch was, I said, Bob, I came into Circus with you and Jesse. So I need one favor, and that is I want the Circus Big Top logo on the back, like Jungle Gym.
On the back of that spoiler, right?
Right. So he says, yeah, that's fine. So that's what happened. So technically it's a Circus paint job, but not really. Jesse painted it. He gets all the credit.
Yeah.
Well,
and I'm still getting best appearing car awards with this car. It's 16 seasons old.
Yeah,
it's
it's amazing.
You know, people still going crazy over it.
But the artwork painting is Glenn Weisgerber.
And that was where I was going. After Jesse worked his magic, I had to have Glenn. Who else is going to do it? I had to call Glenn Weisgerber.
You got the legit goods on a Northeast funny car, and all the way through.
I've always thought that thought that it's the perfect paint job on the perfect funny car. It looks great, man. That is a great hot rod.
Thank you.
John, I think I cut you off a bit. Any final thoughts about it, though? I was thinking I may have cut you off a little bit. Yeah, no, you, Johnny C. Sorry, not a Johnny.
Well, no, Glenn worked. He spent 3 days on it. You know,
we took pictures of him painting amazing to watch. Freehand. He's just like.
Yeah, he'd run down the side of the car with a brush, and as he's working on the car, he'll be like, "So, did you hear this one about and he's telling jokes." It's amazing. The guy is just amazing. He is an
extreme talent.
Yeah, and we're gonna have it. It's showing a lot of battle scars. Like I said, it's 16 seasons old. Don't look too carefully at it because you'll see a lot.
Look careful.
But we're going to send it out this year and get it all touched up, and Glenn will work his magic on it. We'll get it back to the way it was 16 years ago.
I never get tired.
We still got a few more laps left.
Heck yeah!
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody. John. Great stuff. Go ahead.
Everybody on the chat board agrees that it is the finest looking funny car in the world. And Mike Shenandoah said, "We love you. We're proud to help you anytime."
Yeah, that's good old Mike Hall from Shenandoah Racing.
That's Mike Hall?
Yeah.
That's Mike.
His dad was Harry Hall. He ran the Shenandoah car. Yeah. And that's a funny thing because these guys, I used to idolize all these guys. I used to go to pay to get to the track to see all these people run, and Bruce Larson and all. And it's funny, they come over now and watch us race.
Yeah.
I got to pinch myself sometimes.
That's my tagline here: turning heroes into pals. Man, that's what it's all about. I'm so blessed to know you and to know them. And man, it's just great. So what about interests away from drag racing? What do you like to do besides going to the track? Anything of note? Obviously cooking.
We like to eat.
Since I've known Patty, I gained about 30 pounds that I just gave up on. That's not that I'm never getting rid of it.
Patty told me once she's got an olive oil budget. You told me once you have a separate olive oil budget.
You have no idea.
I'll take you out in the shop. I'll show you. She's got like a cupboard, whatever you want to call it, and it's all lined up with gallons of olive oil.
Plus, I like to, make it a little bit more tasty. But, we love to go to concerts. I like to cook. I like to have people over. I like to go on vacation. I'm going to Disney in a couple of weeks with my granddaughters. John will not be coming because he hates me there.
Nice.
Okay, you don't sleep when you go to Disney.
Cracking a whip. You're up at 5 a.m. You don't go to bed till 12.
We've been to Hawaii a couple of years ago. We've been to Italy. I want to do Sicily in a couple of years because that's where my family's from.
Yeah.
So that's definitely a trip on my radar that's going to happen in the next couple of years, and just hang out, good friends, good people. It's good.
That's what it's all about. It's like we get a little taste of that in your pit at the drags, and it's I know it's a pleasure. I know you had a bunch of folks visit up at the house. A lot of people, you had them driving 5 hours to get some of that food.
Yeah. Matt and Robin, Jeff, they were all here.
Yeah.
We had Keith here not long ago.
Keith
during
and
the
Mary
summer.
Lou.
Keith and Mary Lou, Keith Udak, and
Uh-huh.
Roger Toth. You remember Roger Toth?
I sure do. I'm a
Roger's
big Hemi Hunter fan, plus his Outer Limits car and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Roger, he's been here many times. I have his fire suit, his original fire suit from like the early mid 60s. It's sitting down the basement. He's like, John, you got to have it. It's part of your, it belongs in your collection.
Wow.
The old Simpson aluminized fire suit that weighs about 4 tons. I have Roger's. Yep.
Well, I have you, and time is never our friend on these. We're having a great time chatting, though. Do you have any shout outs to sponsors, or you'd already mentioned a lot of shout outs? Anything to sponsors or other folks who've helped you out that you wanted to share? I know we took care of the gals and a lot of the other folks.
Through the years, I've had so many people help me. I mean, Lou LaFerrara, his son, little Lou LaFerrara, has helped me tremendously. Louis was giving me drums of methanol for years.
Wow.
I mentioned Art Simaluka.
Yeah.
Art Simaluka was not only a dear friend, but he was probably the biggest drag racing fan I ever met in my entire life.
That's amazing.
And he would follow me off the edge of the earth with he loved me and he loved my cars.
He's amazing.
And there was events we'd go to. And it hurt a lot when we lost Artie in 2014. I try to keep his memory alive. His name is on the car.
Yeah.
When I do a burnout, even if the car don't fill up with smoke, I flip that escape hatch open because it says in memory of Art Simaluka.
I love it.
And but Artie, you knew what he was about.
It occurs to me, and I'd forgotten all about this, when the Stormfront Beretta was still in primer. He put a big old Draglist decal on the back panel of both sides of the spoiler back in the day.
Not the Stormfront Beretta. That was the WarPath Buick.
Was that the WarPath? Okay, how about that?
Decal on the car, and it was yours. And that was Artie. He had it on a spill plate in the back.
Yeah. I love it. There's not that many cars that ran them. I need to get another batch done, I guess. But I was proud to see that.
With Allison, his wife Allison, that now lives down in Florida. We speak with Allison every now and then.
She's good.
She's good, but Artie is. I don't know what else to say. I mean, it's just unfortunate because right at the time when this car was finished is when Artie started getting sick.
Right.
So he was only with us a few times with the Buick, and he wasn't around long enough to enjoy it. But I'm pretty convinced he was riding along and sitting down there in the winner's circle when we were at Bud's Creek a few weeks ago.
Love that.
But yeah, Artie, and I mentioned my friend Paul before. Paul is always here for me. To this day, we took the body off my car last week, and he rounded up a couple guys, helped me get the body off the car. He's my next door neighbor. I know Paul as long as almost I know my own parents. I grew up with Paul. So yeah, all these people make it happen. It just doesn't happen. Just Patty and I couldn't do it. I just couldn't.
Well, they love you, and I can see why. Let me do 3 things. One thing is I want to find out, where can folks find you on the internet or elsewhere if they want to follow along? Do you have a web Facebook for the car, or?
If you just go on friend John Cerchio, you'll see everything about the car. We post everything we do on my Facebook page, and Patty too. Patty as well.
Gotcha. Sounds good. And then let me go to John one time to see if any final thoughts from the super crew out there in internet land.
Rich Panicaro posted, "Racers helping racers is what it's all about." And Joe Perrone, I was talking about your funny car, and he said it's his favorite funny car also.
Nice.
Warren Bader just posted, Joe's cool, man. And Warren Bader posted, "Bill, your show is terrific. I really enjoyed it. Have fun at the Nitro Revival. You will be with drag racing royalty."
Thank you, Warren. I'm looking forward to it. It's been too many years since I've been to a hot rod reunion out there.
I mean, I'd like to say it's just been a real pleasure to have y'all with us tonight. I've been looking forward to this. That's my favorite funny car. and y'all are my favorite people.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome. All right. And finally, any final thoughts from John and Patty tonight? It's been so much fun visiting with you. Any words to wisdom for the next generation of drag racers, or just folks as we head into the holiday season?
Let's see. Big, strong, work hard, and work together.
Yeah.
And enjoy it the best you can, even though it's a lot of work. But at the end, it's always a great day.
Yeah,
no matter what, we have fun.
We enjoy
no matter
it.
what.
When the day comes that we're not having fun anymore, that's when everything goes for sale. It's still fun. I still enjoy driving the car. I love funny cars just as much now as I did when I was 10.
Yeah.
It never wore off.
It's my weak spot too. It's been I'm the same way. Matchbox, Hot Wheels, models, mags.
Yeah, the gas-powered cars. Remember the Cox cars that went on the string? All of that
You get
stuff.
your first whiff of nitro back then,
Yeah, with the what do they call that? The castor oil. That smell of castor oil.
Yeah.
I'd start the car at home in the house. My mom wanted me dead.
I love it. Well, John, Cerchio, Patty Stiso, we love you. Have a wonderful event up at Island, and we'll see you down the road here somewhere pretty soon.
Absolutely.
Yes,
thanks for visiting.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. Thank you.
Have a good night, guys. Thanks.
All right.
Bye.
John and Patty, unbelievably cool. Let's say farewell tonight to them, and let's go over to John Bachman for this week's JB's Take and the Racer of the Week. John, take it away.
Thanks, BP. My pick for Racer of the Week is Cole Castile from Williston, North Dakota. After 282 entries battled through a hot day of racing at Cedar Falls Motorsports Park, Cole was crowned the $11,000 champion, defeating Steve Elzy in the final round. Cole came through the no box side of the field, picking up the KB Transport Solutions $750 no box bonus along the way. After defeating Butch Belair in the no box final round, Cole moved on to race with the delay box entries. At the end of the night, Cole staged up against Steve Elzy's nostalgic front-engine dragster, which had been deadly all day long. After Cole left the starting line with a 0.014 green, Steve launched the dragster on a red light, which handed the $11,000 win over to Cole. Cole was surrounded with a huge celebration in the winner's circle before returning to his North Dakota home over 10 hours away from Cedar Falls. Well, Cole, we wish you good luck, safe racing, and the best of times in the future. My jury duty lasted about 10 seconds last Thursday. I walked in, they called me over to the window. I handed my summons to the lady, and she said, "You're free to go." So I got my laundry done early that day. The battery in my car went dead in the Walmart parking lot yesterday. I didn't have my cell phone, and my battery charger kit didn't have enough juice to get the car started. Well, I was in a real pickle. I had ice cream for Debbie's birthday celebration in the trunk, and it was hot out there. Out of nowhere, an elderly black lady showed up with a portable battery charger. She hooked it up, and boom, my car cranked. I didn't have any money to give her, but she said, "No problem. I saw you, and I have this gadget, so you're good to go." I tell you what, there are some good people out there, folks. She was an angel for me that day. 54 years ago tomorrow morning, Jimi Hendrix died in London. He inspired me to get serious about playing guitar. He went out undefeated and untied. He would be 82 years old now if he had survived that incident and lived through his life. I've often imagined what his career would have been, and I could see that he would have composed symphonic sounds, which is what he was approaching when he passed away at the age of 27. Anyway, rest in peace, Jimmy. You were the greatest of all time. Everybody stay safe and well. You are the most important part of this show, and we love you all. We look forward to having y'all with us every week. It's a great way for us to spend an hour together on a Monday night. I'll see y'all next time. God bless America. Back to you, BP.
All right. Thank you, John. Good stuff. And yeah, I'm a big Jimmy fan too, man. It's hard to believe, the thing with 27, man, I'm, as you, in my case, hit the mid 60s and have lived in all these decades. And I know you've got a couple of months on me. It's amazing what some folks did by such a short, an early age. And,
well, time flies when you're having fun. And what can I say, man? It seems like those days were just 2 weeks ago. Yeah. And actually they were 54 years ago. So, you just make the most of it, man.
I'm telling you, anybody's there. Not many young folks listen in, but if you're young, I'm telling you, it goes fast to enjoy every day. And those of us on here will have a couple of years on us, and that includes many of our friends here. They realize how fast it went, but it's still cool to hang out. You still feel like you're 21 inside. That's what I think. Oh, yeah. Anyway, let's talk about. Oh, go ahead, John. Sorry.
Oh, they were great guests. Having John and Patty with us was like just sitting across a coffee table having a chat. They're wonderful people.
Heck yes, it's like sitting in the pit having a limoncello and one of Patty's delicious burgers and all the other stuff. I come away from every race I have with the funny car teams about 5 pounds heavier. I have to work it back off, but it's wonderful. Well, let's talk about some cool stuff come up. Another opportunity to get together. Mr. Bruce Larson, who we mentioned, I think tonight, sent me a note, and I'll be putting this up tonight because I was out all weekend and couldn't do it while I was up in Ohio enjoying my my young cousin's wedding. Congratulations to Eric Jr. and my cousin Eric, of course. He and I have known each other since day one, and he's just amazing. So blessings to his family, and thanks for hosting us. Thanks to Judy and Nancy, my sisters, who I got to see up there. Lots of fun. So, but while I was gone, Bruce Larson sent me the update and the promo for the USA One Drag Fest this year. Draglist is proud to be the place where you get to hear about that, and it's the exclusive place where we list the event. This year, it's going to be October 19th because Bruce is also going out to Nitro Revival. So last year he decided that it was the last year he was going to do it in the second weekend of November, which is the traditional weekend for the USA One Drag Fest since he began them. And I've been to all but 2. I think I was sick once and working at Budds Creek the other time. So October 19th, that Saturday, is going to be the USA One Drag Fest this year, and looking forward to heading up the road to see that. Talking about upcoming guests now, Miss K's been working the wires and taking care of us. September 23rd, next Monday night, is Jim Cummings of those outstanding East Coast dragsters that were just down at Budds Creek, and he races them all over the place with his outstanding a troupe of front engine dragsters and ultras and all kinds of good stuff. Jim Cummings will be joining us next Monday night. And then on September 30th, Scott Arriaga, the Jet dragster pilot, second generation racer. You see him tuning and owning the Wicked Sensation car that is so popular here on the East Coast, but he also drives himself now and then. So we're looking forward to having Scott on the show. And Kay is working super hard, got some exciting names. October 7th, October 14th, October 21st. We're going to have a show each one of those days. I know one of those days is Columbus Day, but I think we're still going to do the show. And then I will have to travel for business on October 28th, so we will not have a show on that day. And then after that, we'll start heading into November. So lots of big names coming up. We'll get with Kay and get the names lined up for you here for October. We'll probably announce a couple of those next Monday night. But and next Monday, we will have Jim Cummings on. So get ready for front engine dragster madness and all those other cool cars in his circuit that he races. Those we lost, I have only one name to mention this week, but it's a big name. Bob Miner of the Miner Brothers team. They had Altereds, which were like, AA Altereds, like a 23T. They also had that awesome Vega double C Altered that looked like a gasser. but it was one of the most popular cars of its time. One of the most iconic photos of that car had it going up like on one wheel on this amazing wheel stand. But Bob Miner passed away on the 12th. Always one of the top speed cars in the field, always in the mix to win. And in fact, in the year 2000, was the fastest double top alcohol funny car in the sport at 260.81 miles an hour with Larry Miner at the wheel. And so that went into my mind, and Kepner or somebody smart can correct me, but nobody had gone 260 in 1999 or earlier. I do believe he was the first over 260. Certainly, he was the fastest of the year 2000 at 260.81. So definitely knew how to build the power, and just a great guy. Lots of love from all across the internet about Bob Miner. So farewell to him, and thanks for the thrills over the year, Bob. And with that, we're close to our final wrap. Mr. Bockham, any final thoughts from you on the show, sir?
Well, I'm sure looking forward to next week's show, and I thought everybody was great that we had with us tonight, and we have our birthdays coming up this weekend. Man is Friday, and yours is Saturday, so
that's
we'll
right.
We'll throw a party Monday.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. It's coming up, man. I'm going to hit the big 66, and John, I know you've got, I don't know, not quite 10 on me, right?
But yeah, I'm going to be 75.
Congratulations.
Well, thank you.
It's love. You know that when you're a lucky guy, and thanks to drag racing, right? Because when the birthday greetings on Facebook start in like one hemisphere, and then they basically go from Australia across the Pacific through, and then end up in Europe at the end of the day. It's just an absolute blessing. And I love all my friends around the world. And I certainly love all my friends here with us here tonight who join us on this podcast, if you will. I don't know what the hell to call this, but we sure have a lot of fun. And of course, and John, thanks to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to Debbie, by the way.
Yeah, we had a good time. We all went out to dinner and had an excellent evening. And actually, I have some leftover carrot cake and ice cream for dessert tonight.
Beautiful. Bonus. All right, sir. Thanks. Let's do our final wrap. I want to thank John Cerchio, who was amazing, Patty Stiso, his lovely and funny and adorable wife, John Balkman, of course, my brother, Kay Turkelson, who takes such good care of us, and of course, Rob McCabe, who was actually able to join us tonight, and he's out there putting in the Maple Grove results. And of course, thanks forever to Danny White, the man. Love him. Thanks to Jeff Gilder of Zeus Digital Marketing, Racers Reunion, and Wing Ding Media, who got us started way back in 2010. Click the like and click the share button. Let your friends know that we are out here, even if you're seeing this on the recording. And subscribe to this YouTube channel if you would. I think we're getting it down. I just edited, because I was gone all weekend, I did edit the opening chat from last week's show. So that should be available here by the morning in a slightly more condensed format. We did condense it a bit tonight, so fingers crossed. I'll take a look when we wrap up here and see how the front end of this show went. We're getting better and better at that. One other thing I want to remind you to do is check in on Draglist.com daily to see what's new. This week, Ohio David Oakes put up some amazing photos, and it's always good stuff up there. And of course, we love our repost feature on Facebook, where a couple times a day, we go back and grab a great old story or a great old set of photos from our past at Draglist and pop them back up on Facebook for you to enjoy all over again. So, and a lot of people, may have never seen it. So anyway, time to say farewell. On behalf of John and our guests, it's been a blast. Have a wonderful, wonderful week, and we will see you next Monday night for the great Jim Cummings. Until then, folks, adios.